Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic the Practical Way because there are a lot of practicalities when it comes to manifesting the lives that we choose. What I'm discussing today is the power of discovering who you truly are. So when I think about the word discover, I think about uncovering something, like revealing something. I think about the idea of you having these things already, you being these things already, this greatness that you see in yourself, this light that you see in yourself, these abilities, these talents, the skill sets that you see in yourself that's like radiating. You expand and express more of those when you're a kid. And as we get older, we run into these environments where people, shut us down, they chop us down, they tell us we're this or we're that or we're not or we're this. They label us and we're like, oh, wait, oh, I'm that. I didn't know. The world tells me this is what I am. And so they go into this world and slowly but surely you start to cover all of the pieces of yourself that make you special, that make you unique, that makes you something valuable to society and make you useful because of your uniqueness, right? You start to cover those things, put layers on it. And the reason why you cover it is because you don't want to be ostracized. You don't want to be disliked. You want to have positive interactions in social environments. And if you're not in an environment where you are brought up around your tribe or you're, growing up in a place where people match your identity a lot more, you start to cover up pieces of yourself. So when I say discover, I'm talking about the uncovering of the true person who you truly are on the inside, right? The real you. When I'm having conversations with people and I'm talking about anything that's changing in the world or what's happening in environments, and they start to do this very surface, empty pleasantry, run-of-the-mill conversation, I instantly know that I'm dealing with somebody who's wearing a mask, who's, sitting in their covered place, who's not discovered who they truly are. And if they have discovered who they truly are, for whatever reason, when they come in contact with people or me or certain types of people, they're covering up this version of who they are, right? So one of the biggest drawbacks I feel it is to walk through the world without having your true self available with your mask on, with being covered, is first of all, you don't get to meet people in a place of trying to create a connection with them. You meet them more in a place of trying to protect yourself instead, right? I was listening to a really good podcast the other day, and the guy was talking about how we either meet people with our mindset going, do I want to protect myself or do I want to connect, right? And they said, depending on your level of trauma as it relates to those areas, you may be a person that you walk up to people and you're like 80% connection and like 20% protection. Or you may be like 50% connection and 50% protection. I like to think that I'm one of those people that, I have some protective ways about myself until I talk to you for a moment and realize that you're a safe place to be. Then I'll release information accordingly, but not like vomit everything at one time. And he's saying that people that just vomit everything about who they are and where they've been and what they've done, they're people that are desperately chasing connections everywhere they go, and they need to do a little bit more of protection, right? So when I think about that, I think about not living in your most truest and authentic version of yourself. And I have a firm understanding that that truest identity and version of yourself changes over time. It expands, it develops, and it grows. So you can date someone or be with someone or be in a connection or a marriage or a relationship where you were completely and utterly evenly connected and yoked at the beginning of that because you were still walking around with a partial mask on that you didn't even know was still there or existed. And until you were confronted with different situations and circumstances, maybe throughout the relationship, maybe throughout the marriage, you started revealing to yourself more pieces of who you are, cleaning up your trauma and uncovering the real version of who you are, right? So it's not about grabbing new things and like, I have to learn this new thing, I have to expand. All that expansion, evolution, and ascending, that's great. Those are wonderful because I love reading new books and watching documentaries and getting new information, getting caught up in articles, getting stuck on the nerdy side of LinkedIn or YouTube. Those are one of my favorite things to do. But at the end of the day, I know that if I'm looking for my true self, it's not going to be in these outward things. It's going to be in the person that's deeply embedded on the inside of me, right? So as we go through life, we say, well, this part of me works for me. This part of me doesn't work. But it always depends on what type of environment that you're in, right? So if you're in an environment where being nerdy is not the currency, you may tuck away your nerdiness in order to be in a more cool and chill vibe so that you can just have the community and the comfort of the people around you that you're with, right? So I will challenge you, and I'm also challenging myself too. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. That learning to spending more time on discovering who we truly are at our core should be like a main mission in your life, like a daily base mission. Like you should spend about an hour a day thinking, do I really like that or don't I? When I was a kid, how did I feel about sherbet, sherbet, whatever that is, ice cream stuff? Did I like it or did I eat it because people just put it in front of me? Did I cover up my dislike for it because I wanted to fit in with the group? Or that I, was honest and authentic? And 9 times out of 10, you'll find that in that situation, you were authentic at first and people crashed on you. How come you don't like this? How can you not like sherbet? How can you not like this flavor? How can you not want blah, 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 blah? And you were just like, well, maybe I need to cover that up because it's causing me problems in this environment. And over time, you might do that about 100 to 1,000 times in your life. As far as you've got now, think about all those little pieces of yourself that are your most truest and authentic versions that do work for you, that you've covered up, that you don't even know is existing. So you have to go back and discover it, right? Like Christopher Columbus discovering America. Well, it was already here. The people were already there. So he didn't really discover it. He just uncovered it, revealed it for people that didn't know it existed, right? But the people that were there, they already knew all along that they existed, that nobody needed to discover them, right? So the pieces of you on the inside of you are the same way. It knows it's there. Those talents, those skill sets, those abilities, your mindset, the true version of who you are, it's so deeply embedded in you. It was in you when you were an egg in your mom's belly, when she was an egg inside her mom's belly, right? Because we are very present way before we get to here in this planet. We experience what our grandmothers went through because we were there. Part of my DNA, who I am, is here. It comes from there. I experienced all of the stuff my mom went through. Sometimes we're fighting these battles and these generational issues, and it's not even something that we have a first-hand account with. It's something that we've been dragged into because everybody gets dragged into the people that we were born into, the families, the environments. And if you're brought up in these environments and it's not completely clear that you're okay the way you are, there's nothing about you that's so inherently wrong that you need to go change or do something with. You're a beautiful person inside and out. Then you don't walk around thinking all the time, I need to cover this up because people might not like it. I'll cover this up because people might like, I'll cover that up, right? And then it just becomes the way of life that you live. And then you go in the world covering yourself up and expect that you're going to run into your tribe. How are your tribe going to even recognize you if you haven't truly discovered who you are? I'm preaching to me too. I'm talking to me too. Anyway, I hope this message resonates with you. I hope you understand the importance of discovering your most authentic version of yourself. Unleash, reveal all those aspects of who you are that the world beat down back inside of you because they were real. And it was okay to be who you were. And that's why you may come through these moments of lostness and all, because you stuck that stuff away and you told yourself that it wasn't available to you, that it didn't work for you. And it really did. And you just weren't in the right environments now. So now you need to rediscover all those things that were beautiful about yourself and make it a priority again, right? And another thing too, I think in the world where we get caught up in places and environments where we're around people where they start to tell us. I remember having a friend and I just was who I was. I didn't really measure myself up against the world because that just wasn't where I was yet. I just was existing. Like I was on autopilot and I was working at Wendy's. I was like a shift supervisor. We were both managers at Wendy's. I remember during this time. And I remember we would go out to do things and go to clubs and all that. But it was like, 18, 19 years old. We were discovering the world. And I never wanted to go into some of these real ratchet places. I'm like, I don't want to go in there. And like, there was this club they used to have, the country club, right? And when I say country, I mean in the country, the suburbs of New Orleans. But it was a club, it was called James. And so the nickname for it was Shoot 'em Up James, because there was literally shooting at this club every weekend. But for some reason, she wanted to always go to this club. And I'm just like, why? It is like one of the roughest spots. But it's also what I know now that I've expanded my life and moved out of my environment. People just get comfortable with what they know. I remember her telling me one time in the car, she's like, I don't know why you have a problem with going to these places that we want to go to and hang out and all that kind of stuff. It's like you think you're better than everybody else. And I was like, being better than everybody else never even crossed my mind. But the world started telling me that I had a superiority complex because there were really specific things that I didn't want to do, that I didn't want to get involved in. And so I walked through life always thinking, oh no, I can't say that because people will think that I have a superiority complex. So I can't say that because then I'm not going to seem humble. Well, I can't say that because then I'm going to seem like I actually like myself and I think that I'm great. That's exactly what you're saying to yourself. I can't say that because people might actually think that I'm not down about myself and I actually like me. And I was walking through life doing this sort of thing, and I still do it to this day, right? So I'm in this process, right? Because she was really just giving me another reason to cover something up. She didn't know it. Nobody knew it. But it was another reason that doesn't work for you. Cover it up, because in this environment, we like ratchet clubs. And if you're going to be with us, you need to come to these clubs and you need to be okay with it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So you get to the place where you start to look back and identify all those spots in your life where you just really just ditched yourself for what the other people told you was going to be better for you. So rediscover, discover, uncover that beautiful version of you that came into this world that the world actually needs. We don't need the watered down version that's doing what everybody else is doing. Everybody doing that. Whatever that thing is, everybody doing it. Everybody doing it. We need that version that's online creating TikTok videos of yourself vacuuming different floors in your house, talking about major aspects of your career. Voiceovers. There are literally people that make videos like that and people watch them all day. And they literally make good money doing these things. And so these little quirky things about yourself, you need to dive back into them because that's where your pot of gold is. That's my 2 cents today. Discover that great person that you know that you are. I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful day. Like, subscribe, and share if you choose. I have a meeting in like 2 minutes. So I was looking at the clock. Yeah. And until next time, keep manifesting the magic and know that you are great in your truest authenticity and the world can take it or leave it. You can't find your tribe if you're hiding behind mediocrity. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.